What's up, Who Dat Nation, and thanks for joining us on the Dome Patrol podcast. I'm your host, Jeff, and I'm not drunk, but I am drinking my Crescent vodka that I'm going to make a drink whenever we get to that point. But anyway, what a weekend for Louisiana football. Both LSU and the Saints put on an offensive showcase, or was it an offensive showcase, on the East Coast. And while LSU's victory puts them in the national championship, the Saints' victory was overshadowed by the fact that the Lions and the Seahawks couldn't do their part, or did they play their exact role that Darth Goodell wanted them to play? Anyway, the Saints are now the number 3 seed in the playoffs. That being said, there is much to celebrate after the regular season. We'll talk about that. We're going to catch up after Jason's Christmas solo story last week. Jason, great job last week carrying the torch. What's your name? What's your number? How you doing? I'm in. Mm-hmm. I'm making a drink. No, I got to use my Fleur de Lis. All right. Jamming. All right. And Scott, welcome back to the show. And what's your number? Okay, good job. And now I hear you. Or did they say they couldn't? On the live stream, we've got Tom Ensign saying Happy New Year, Hoodats. The mailman, no bowling league tonight. I get to watch live. Chris Sansbury, no audio from Jason. Yeah, I hear you. Scott, you hear him. All right. Says, yeah, Crip Brooks, a couple of, anyway, they cannot hear Jason or Scott. I'll tell you what, let me fix this. Hang on. Yeah. That's not classic, Jeff. I ain't messed up the audio ever. This year. Oh, here we go. Hang on. Let's try this again. All right. All right. How's this? Somebody say something? Let's wait and see if the guys hear it. If then we'll start over. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Hang on. All right, everybody. We know we're working through these audio things. I see that you're not getting anything here. Try now. It's my situation to fix. Hang on. Wasn't that a wrestler? Oh, that's right. Yeah. All right, hang on. Everybody who's watching, just hang on. Hang on. Shut you. You don't want to see my abs are under my stomach. No, I tell you, it's me. Hang on. It's my microphone picking up my headset for Jason. Hang on, I just got to change my speaker on. Yes. Goodell is messing with my sound. It's all part of the. Let's try this one. Say something now.
Something now?
Something now. Oh, hey, there you go.
Now meow, now meow, now meow, ow now brown cow. Ow now brown
Ow,
cow.
now, brown cow. Ow, now, brown cow.
Do we have a buffering symbol over Jason's face too? Yeah, that's part of the show. That's how we censor him. I see some box wine. Chris Sansbury says.
Yep. I'll show it again.
They should hear you now.
I mean, they should, but I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Call us.
Can you hear
Tell
me now?
us. Ah, that sounds
All
good.
good now. They got it. They got it. They got it. All right.
Got it. Woo, woo.
All right. I did.
Start over.
Boy, you guys missed an awesome show that last 5 minutes.
And that's all the
And
show we
we're
have for
done.
you. Thanks for dropping by. All right. Let's see. Okay. We did the intros. I'm not going to read that part again. You guys introduced yourself. They said that we're Jason, what's your number for the crowd?
I'm just the
Standard.
one, but I
Okay.
do have a fresh big glass of wine.
All right. Scott, what's your number?
1.
All right.
Globe Ultra.
And then we got all these people here. We'll edit all that fun stuff out for the podcast version. And that's why the people who watch on the live stream pay for the high price for the premium tickets. You see, they get special access to the live taped recording of the show. That's
Behind the scenes.
Yeah. But actually, that, you know what, we do that all for free for you. You tune in because we're not some losers who try to make people make donations for our podcast. I don't know who does that, but if anybody does, it's pretty shitty. I mean, it's not like our opinions are any better than yours.
If anybody would pay to listen to me, I'm sorry. You need help.
You got more problems than me. Okay.
Right?
So before we get into the game recap, I did a tweet Christmas time.
What's your number?
Oh,
Did you say
I'm a 1. Yeah, I'm a 1. I had one of my drinks before, and now I've got another one that I made.
We're all a bunch of ones. At least we're all not a bunch of zeros.
We're not by 1. We're gonna have to get to a 3 for the seating
All right.
by the end of the night. I did a tweet after Christmas asking everybody to send a picture if they got any kind of Saints paraphernalia for their Christmas present.
Right.
And I wanted to show. I didn't get to show mine. I did get these. That's a Saints sock.
Okay.
Nice.
And then I got this shirt. Did y'all ever see this shirt on
NFC.
I saw it somewhere. I saw it somewhere.
Facebook or something? Yeah, I saw it advertised on Facebook. And I tagged Andre in it, and I was like, maybe you should get this one. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we got.
I guess
I think it's pretty
lost in
awesome.
the mail, huh, Joe?
It's
What's
cool.
that?
It's very similar to the W flags the Cubs gave out. My dad went to one of the playoff games when they won the World Series, and there was a W, but it was all the players' names to form the W. So it's very, very similar. But it's cool. I like it. If you're gonna get an NFC South shirt, that's one that I would actually approve of.
That's my whole thing. Is I usually am not the kind of person who's going to buy a division championship shirt. I mean, there's so much more we're going to win. But
Is there?
this one was pretty awesome. I didn't buy it for the division championship so much as I bought it for the names and whatnot. Well, I didn't even buy it. It was bought for me. All right, let's get into game recap. The mailman, damn, you're flexible. Yeah, I'm going to pay for that in the morning. That's what she said. All right. So the first thing I'm going to ask you guys is the offense was rolling.
Continues to look good. Now, granted, look, Carolina rolled over. You could tell from the get-go. Their season's over. They're already packing their bags for vacation. But we still went out there and put up a shit ton of fucking points. And the offense continued to play well. More Alvin Kamara, which is a great sign going forward. We had both Pete and Warford back. I knew Pete was coming back. I'm glad that Warford's back because when he got hurt, I was really worried that the injury was bad. So that's a great sign.
Thinking that we would need that bye week for Warford or Pete even.
Oh, I think we all kind of figured Pete would be back, but Warford's was scary because they never really said a bunch about it. It just looked bad when it happened. I remember they had to take, he went to the sideline, left on a card. It looked pretty bad.
Okay.
So that's great getting them in here. But no, I mean the offense is humming. Again, it's hard to judge.
You could make mistakes. You know what I mean? Even though Carolina wasn't playing, the fact is this goes back to like the Falcons game. Everybody was complaining that they didn't do what you're supposed to do against a shitty team. Well, here we have they did what they were supposed to do against a team that wasn't playing hard. In their stadium, granted, now, and the weather wasn't cooperating. It wasn't the perfect day for football. And they still came out and they played like there was nothing to be concerned about. And that's how you want to be going into the playoffs, right? You don't want to be like Seattle.
I was, kind of like we said with the offense, I was impressed with it. The thing I think that impressed me the most was it wasn't drops back, there was a Michael Thomas. Drew drops back, there was Michael Thomas. Like, it wasn't Michael Thomas every play. They spread it around. I think he had like 8 or 9 different receivers. Traquan had a good game. Jared Cook, unbelievable. That one-handed catch for the touchdown was
Yeah, that was
just
great.
freaking great. So I like that aspect of it, that he spread it around. Because Michael Thomas, teams are going to try to take him out, especially in the playoffs. So it's good to be able to spread it around a little bit, and kind of gives you maybe a little glimmer of hope that if he is double, triple cover, whatever, we got other people that can get open and catch.
Well, because we tried to get it to Thomas, and combination of good covers. They kept having the safety on him as a second guy, and 1 or 2 drops. I know he had a hand issue this week, popped up on the injury report, so hopefully that's not anything to worry about. But yeah, just having Traquan step up, because Ginn really didn't play a lot. I'm sure they're like, look, we just don't want him to get injured. We know what Ginn is.
I'm kind of done, and I'm over the whole Ginn project. Anyway, he dropped too much this year. I don't believe in him. I don't feel like we need him so much. Maybe as a decoy to stretch the field, if that.
I think we're going to need him at some point, even if it's just for a play or two. We're going to need everybody.
Okay.
We're going to need it. Don't just piss him away.
I know, but he just kind of he pissed me off at some point this season, and I haven't gotten over it yet.
That's what you do. You hold grudges.
I do. The only thing I hold on to is grudges, and the only thing I jump to are conclusions.
Even if we just use him as a decoy to run deep routes to, take a safety out or, whatever.
And you got to throw it every now and then, because otherwise the decoy doesn't work.
Right.
So you got to throw away a down.
There was a couple of passes that Drew threw deep that you could kind of see that arm strength wasn't where it used to be.
The ball was wet.
Yeah, it's a wet ball. Come on, Scott. It's a wet ball.
Jeez.
That's what she said.
You only have one ball?
Yeah. But it is nice that with Kamara, Traquan in this game, and Jared Cook all being viable receiving threats outside of Michael Thomas. So I think what we're going to hear going into the playoffs, especially the deeper we go, are people are going to start to criticize the Saints for being, they've only got one. Even Saints fans themselves on Twitter are going to be like, we need more receiving threats than Michael Thomas. It's going to be so predictable that it's going to be Kamara and Thomas, and they're going to forget about Cook. They're going to forget about Traquan. They're going to forget about Ginn, which
going to forget about Gus.
Forgot about Dre.
That was a joke just for Roy, if Roy's still watching.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the one good thing that you can say is that, yes, whatever the competition is, it's not like it's been great, but the offense the offense is playing as good as it has all season, and this is what you want heading into the playoffs.
Now, so flip over to the defense. They played pretty awesome against Carolina. Again, a team but Carolina was trying to get McCaffrey his number.
And they did.
And they did, but at the same time, we did hold him to under, 26 yards rushing?
That's
26 yards.
That's what we do. We hold. What's our streak now? Like 40-something games of
42
yard rusher. Yeah,
42. The answer is always 42.
It definitely helped.
This guy knows what I'm talking about.
It definitely helped going against Greer for the first quarter and a half. Eventually, he's just like, "Yeah, I'm hurt. Y'all can take me out. I'm hurt. I'm out. Take me out."
Yeah.
And Allen looked a lot better than him. Luckily, the game was in hand at that point. But the biggest difference and what really hurt us against San Francisco was not having Klein and Alonso for that game, and we had him for this game, and it makes all the difference in the world to have those two guys there along with Davis at the linebacking spot. That at this point that's some of the difference making that we're going to need. Those guys need to be healthy the rest of the way.
Yeah. And I know we didn't get the bye, but I kind of almost it would be good to have the rest. But if we're rolling, man, just to stop that,
I would have given everything for the bye. I would have given.
Everything, but at the same time, it is maybe a bit of a easier path.
No.
Look what happened the last time we had to buy during the regular season.
We got fucked by the refs. That could still happen this year. Okay.
Oh no, I'm talking about the buy during the regular season. We were rolling. We got a break. We came back against Atlanta.
Totally different. It's a lot easier to win 2 games to get to Super Bowl than 3.
This is true.
That, but
Yes,
This
2
is
games
true.
compared to 3. Right. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, look, we're stuck here doing this. We're gonna have to win. You know, we're gonna win. They're gonna have to go to Green Bay. And
All right, now, wait, we're still in game recap, and you're jumping ahead of yourselves. All right, Jason, do you still feel meh about Deontay Harris? Because last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever I talked about him making the Pro Bowl, and you're like, meh, returning.
Hold on.
Returning doesn't matter. It's not really a phase of the game that means anything. It's all about offense and defense. Superstar players. Deontay Harris is garbage. I think that's what you said. It's a direct quote.
I mean,
Sounds
it's
right.
you love to twist. You love to twist my words. Did the spirit of Damon take over you this week? You know, just because I sent out a text of a picture of Aaron Brooks, you're gonna twist my words again with,
I missed
with
that.
Deontay Harris.
Did I get that text?
Well, we were saying, we're signing AB, and like, does
We were
somebody say
signing
AB?
and he sent the
yeah,
picture.
Yeah.
Not the
Um,
baby.
I mean, do you
It's-
appreciate him now a little more?
Right, because I definitely haven't the last 4 or 5 weeks.
I
I haven't said
mean,
anything about Harris.
You did
I didn't say it.
You poo-pooed on his Pro Bowl appearance.
I didn't even the Pro Bowl in general, Dick. Not
So?
his. I'll poo-poo on Drew Brees' Pro Bowl or
Okay.
whoever's Pro Bowl.
Oh,
It's the
so now
fucking
Drew
Pro Bowl.
Brees is garbage? Is that it? You want Aaron Brooks back? You texted a picture of Aaron Brooks, and now you're poo-pooing on Drew Brees. I bet you voted for Drew Brees not to be in the top 10 of the NFL 100.
I voted for Aaron Brooks, and that was the deciding vote. They're like, if somebody is willing to vote Aaron Brooks over Drew Brees, then he cannot be on the top 100. Just can't.
All right. We talked about McCaffrey. With this game,
Mr. Coach Klein getting a nice pick against his old team.
yep,
Very
as
nice.
the picture there on that thing. He
Taysom
gets
Hill
our
with the
player of the
touchdown.
game picture on this live stream.
Taysom Hill. the
Taysom
touchdown.
Hill with a touchdown. That's right.
What a great. I mean, there's a lot of room, but of
Dude.
course, like, yeah, they weren't stopping him.
When he was running, and there was kind of like that half of a thought that was like, oh, he's going to step out of bounds here. And then you're like, oh, wait, no, he's not. He's Taysom Hill. He doesn't step out of bounds. And then
He's
you're
like
like,
Kamara.
but he's on like the 10 or the 15-yard line. And you're looking ahead, and you're like, there's only 2 guys between him and the end zone. And you're like, that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
I had no
He's
doubt in my
throwing
mind that he
somebody.
was scoring. He like on the 15-yard line, 2 guys between him and the goal line. And I was 100% sure that he was going to score that touchdown. I mean, he's better than Kittle. Taysom Hill versus George Kittle.
It's gonna
I'm good
happen.
with that.
Kittle corn.
Jimmy Kittle.
Now, I will say my last kind of thought of the game, because it was over so quick. It was one of the more relaxing game watching experiences that I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, even sitting down, I realized, like, at the end of the day,
Twitter
we
was
need- you know,
fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Well, except for everybody live tweeting the Detroit shit in the bed. That wasn't fun. But you knew it all was going to come down to Seattle. So at the end of the day, if for some reason they lost, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But once we got up so early, you're like, yeah, this game's over. So like, I watched the rest of the game, but I kind of like I went to go pack a little bit. I mean, I did have the game on in the other room, but it just wasn't as, it wasn't live or die every second I have to watch, and it was fun and enjoyable.
Kind of like
Thank
that
you,
LSU
Saints.
game.
Thank you, Carolina.
We needed the rest before the playoffs. Drama starts.
Right. I mean, it'd be nice if the Minnesota game we can get out there and jump out to like a 21-0 lead and kind of enjoy that game too. Now, some season recaps, season wrap-up notes that I'm sure we all pretty much know, but it's still worth mentioning and reacting to. This season marks the 4th 13-3 season that the Saints have had, all since 2009, apparently.
Wait.
Yeah, and giving them
You're right.
back-to-back 13-win seasons for the first time in franchise history. So we 13-3 2 years in a row, and yet we're the number 3 seed. The last team to go back-to-back 13-win seasons was
New
The
England.
Saints.
New England, and 2016 and 2017. All right.
It's damn impressive. It's really damn impressive, especially losing Breeze for 5 games. Like, that's the crazy part.
Exactly.
26-3 the last 2 years. I mean,
26-6. You didn't have your calculator up.
Let's see. Oh, the mailman says that was also the biggest halftime lead in Saints history. That's right. You would have thought we would have that 09 season we would have had a bigger lead in one of those games, but
yeah, but we also gave up some points. Like, I mean, the fact that we held them to what, 3 points? They got that field goal, or was that in the second half? Was it a shutout at the end of the first half?
think.
I mean, I know.
I don't remember, but I think we were shutting them out.
Clearly, I had lost interest in that game at that point.
Yeah. All right. This makes 2 years in a row that we've got a 7-1 road record. Our road record being better than our home record. That's another franchise first. That's 14-2. So this whole idea about the Saints having to go on the road for the playoffs, dude, we're a road team. We're road dogs. Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
Oh, it sounds so much better when the road dog does it. Road dog sounds so much better.
That was like the whitest thing I've ever heard.
That was like Siri saying,
"Oh, you kids are watching the wrestling?
Your ass better call somebody."
They did score to 3 before halftime.
Okay.
Thought
so.
Let's see. Breeze finished the regular season with 27 touchdowns while missing 5 games.
5 games.
Yeah, 27 touchdowns. This is the 14th season he's thrown for more than 25 touchdowns, which puts him in a second-place tie with Tom Brady for the number 14 times doing 25 or more touchdowns, and they're behind Manning. But Breeze is not in the club of the top 10 all-time quarterbacks.
Of course not.
Right. No. Jared Cook, who came on late, finished the season with the most touchdowns he's ever had in a regular season, 9.
And the most we've had since Jimmy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that was, most of that was in the second half of the year. I mean, you remember week 5, 6, 7, we're like, why the hell did we sign this guy? He's not doing a thing. And then just boom.
He did a thing.
Instant, awesome number 2 receiving weapon right now.
Yeah. Kamara joins Deuce McAllister as the second Saint to have 1,300 total yards from scrimmage in not 1, not 2, but 3 straight seasons. You heard that?
That is kind of amazing considering he's had quote unquote a down season. You know.
You say he's down, but is it really down? Because he got 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games?
Yeah, he maybe the last 3 games he's got a couple. Now 1,300 yards, it's good, but in today's day in NFL, it's not like it's extraordinary. But considering his down season, he missed a couple games. And you know, I'm just happy that nice dog bark. I'm just happy the fact that he's finally playing his best, like the rest of the offense. They're playing their best going into the time of season where it matters most.
Yeah.
And that's really why, despite not getting a bye and despite who we may have to go play, you can at least feel optimistic about everything. It's like, look, we're playing as good as we have all season, other than a few injuries on defense.
And honestly, aside from San Francisco, I don't fear any team on any field that we might have to go through.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me is Green Bay. Not because of Green Bay, but I've watched a few Green Bay games, and the refs. It's almost like they really cater to Aaron Rodgers. I almost said Aaron Brooks. To Aaron Rodgers. Like I don't know if he just whines so much, or he has the quote unquote superstar status, or what. But I mean, if you go up to him and touch him with your finger, they're going to call a penalty for roughing the passer.
And look, I know Aaron Rodgers is a really good quarterback. He's had some phenomenal years, but with as bad as he was, with as bad as he's been, everybody just talks about him like he's the greatest fucking shit ever. And at the end of the day, last time I checked, the dude's only got 1 Super Bowl. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
He's, you know, he throws his teammates. He looks like a fucking douchebag. You know, you can't say that about Breeze, but Aaron Rodgers
and Scott texted last night about his helmet. Scott, what'd you text about his helmet? Because it's true when you said it.
Like his helmet looks like his freaking head. Like I don't know if it's just the color, the yellow color, but it just looks like one big head.
He's like a space ball. He's like a space ball.
I mean, his head looks like it's the helmet.
Yeah,
it's freaking
he looks
weird.
Now the mailman, going back to Kamara, the mailman on the live stream did say he heard he had 81 catches this year and last year. The mailman, it's actually 81 all 3 years. Every year he had 81 catches. Isn't that neat? I wonder if they did it on purpose this year, just to get into 81, just so
Oh
they
yeah,
can
I
get
did
straight
see
down.
that. I did see that with
Yeah.
Kamara.
And as
the
far
man
as
in
a
Drew-
down year, Jason, yeah, he had 500 receiving yards this year. But his rushing yards were lower than last year, but higher than his first year. So rushing is on par. It was the receiving yards that were down this year.
Well, it just overall, he just didn't look right, and he was injured. I mean, that's all it was. He was injured. He just didn't look right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yet now he's healthy, and he's looking like the Kamara that we're gonna need.
Right. And then
Kamara.
Drew, I was gone for a second. I don't know if you said this, but Drew, I think tied Peyton Manning for the most 3 touchdown games.
Oh, I didn't
Throwing
catch
3
that one. No.
touchdowns. Yeah, I think it's 93 is what the number was, or 94, something like that. The most, he's tied with Peyton Manning with the most touchdowns, throwing 3 touchdowns in a game. Sorry.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the comment.
Yeah,
Chris
right.
made.
Yeah.
All right. Saints defense finishes. Saints defense finishes the season with 51 sacks, surpassing the 50 sack mark for the 9th time in franchise history and the first time since 2001.
Wow.
Jim Haslett's defense.
Impressive.
I mean, at first, when I first read that, I was like, oh, I'm surprised we hadn't done that in Sean. Oh, wait, this is defense we're talking about. Never mind. So it doesn't surprise me that we have not had 50 sacks with Sean Payton's defensive coordinators. But that goes to show you that the question, and I don't remember if it's in tweets or not, so I'll bring it up here. But the question about going into the playoffs, are we concerned about our secondary? I'm not, because the front line is going to get the pressure making the second. And Eli Apple doesn't have to play now because we got Janoris Jenkins. Now Annie Apple's coming after me.
Don't tell your mama. His mama. She's coming.
Right.
Oh. She's like, who? I've never heard of that chump before.
You talking about me?
She blocked
Annie Apple talking about
you or Bobby. It doesn't matter. She didn't hear about him either.
She blocked T-Bob too.
Yeah.
Wow.
After
And
he
she
had
went on
her,
his show.
yeah,
Yes.
to talk about her charity and all that stuff. I got to tell you, I'm kind of losing respect. I thought I liked Annie Apple, but I've come to realize that she might not be open-minded.
Well, let's put it this way, Jeff. When Eli Apple signs somewhere else next year and she goes with him, you're never going to have to worry about her again. So
That's true.
True.
All right. That's all I got for the game. Y'all got anything else for this game? Before we move on to the next segment, which is look at the
I love
tweets.
Taysom Hill.
That's why Scott's here. Every time Taysom Hill scores a touchdown, Scott
shows
guests
up.
on the show.
Magically
Hey,
shows
more-
up. Whoop.
More receiving touchdowns than Julio Jones and all these other people.
Then a lot of guys.
OBJ.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yep. A lot. Yeah. Hey.
Yep.
He's not.
I heard
he's not my
Taysom Hill
Drew-
made the top 10 all-time QBs on the NFL 100 list.
I think he did.
Ahead of Drew Brees.
Of course he did.
He made the top 10 quarterbacks, the top 10 running backs, the top 10 tight ends, the top 10 wide receivers.
Top 10 punt rusher, punt blocker.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see? I think it was shit.
Nope.
Lutz that tweeted something about they had an article about how Taysom does all these things well, and he tweeted the article and was like, "Don't let the coaches see him kick.
Oh.
You don't want him to take his job."
That's funny. Oh, Will Lutz. You're full of jokes. All right, Mordecai tweets in, since Carolina stopped Michael Thomas, 4 catches, 37 yards, same exact stat line he had in the NFC Championship game. Are you concerned about this going forward, or do you think Breeze can find others to help us win like he did against Carolina? How big would having AB be?
Not with the circus. Fortunately, we're not signing him.
No, we're
If-
not.
if-
And
if it was-
he tweeted
Yeah.
today like oh well or so long or something.
Well, he
like
brought.
that.
I mean, Saints are like, hey, don't just come by yourself. Don't bring an entourage. What do? He brought a fucking entourage and cameras. Like the dude,
And camera
he's got brain damage. I mean, it's all the dude's got brain damage. Sorry.
I don't think that's brain damage. I think that's egocentric.
something's wrong.
He
with it,
definitely
like,
has. He definitely has
something's
brain
off.
damage. Yeah, something's
like,
off with
I don't know
him.
if it's brain damage. It could be like
CTE.
Ego.
CTE. Not the. Am I the first person to ever cheer? CTE.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's like bipolar or something. I don't know. Something's not right. He's seeing a psychiatrist and stuff, and he was supposedly straightening out and kind of going
Allegedly.
trying to get to the
You're
right
ignorant.
path, but But to show up with a freaking camera crew and an entourage is just.
When I specifically
That's
told you
not
not to.
brain damage. That is Kaepernick. That's the mentality that I am bigger than you. If this is about me and my personal agenda. That's what, to me, that him bringing the camera crew was, which until I heard that he brought his camera crew, I was like, you know what? Take him for 3 games, throw him to the side when you're done. We can use him and whatever. We will all benefit from it. But after I heard about the cameras, it tells me this is a guy who's strictly doing this for his own personal gain. He has no desire to help the team, which, again, sometimes it's fine to hire a mercenary, but we don't need him. We don't need what the potential risk and fallout from signing him. We don't need it. We've got Taysom Hill.
There you go.
Yes, there you go.
And Jared Cook.
And Traquan. Don't forget
And
Traquan.
Traquan Smith.
Traquan's coming on.
And Lil Jordan.
Lil Jordan's up.
Oh,
They did sign a guy from that White, I think is his last name, Tim White.
Yeah.
To
Who
the
is
practice
he? I've
squad,
heard
so.
that name before.
Jeff, you're thinking of Tim Dwight,
Thinking
Who
of
was
Tim
white?
Reed.
who actually
Dwight
caught
was
passes
white.
from
I'm thinking
Drew
of Tim
Brees and the
Brown. What's
Chargers.
Tim Brown up to these days? I bet he can play.
Being old.
Where's Jerry Rice at? Where is
Right?
he?
All right. RJ Savage says if they call the most fluke play in playoff history the Minneapolis Miracle, then we are going to drop a Nola nuke on them. Final score 49-14. I like the Nola nuke. I do like that. So if we get a good deep bomb to whoever, I don't care. Maybe a one-handed Jared Cook touchdown.
Like a hand grenade?
Yeah, the Nola nuke. Then they need to change the name of the hand grenade at Tropical Owl to the Nola nuke.
Well, I think the
We just
creator
need to open a bar and come up with a drink named the Nola Nuke.
Yeah, fuck yeah, we'll do it ourselves. The Nola nuke.
That's my drink. That's what I'm drinking. Nola nukes.
Okay.
Use the force. Oh wait, something.
It was good until your hand came in.
Right? This is not the vodka you're looking for. Yeah.
All right. AB, Chris Ann's right. AB's cancer. We don't need it. Yeah, that's true. I heard Sean Payton was pissed when he put a pic of him signing the waiver was posted. That's the other thing. He goes and posts a picture of him signing the waiver. Again, it's all about it's attention. It's attention for himself. He's trying to stay relevant.
It's also they tell you one thing and you can't listen. Why can't you listen? Like there's something wrong. Like he can't comprehend shit.
I think it's defiance. I don't know why you're giving him the excuse that he has some kind of learning disability, Jason. He's an asshole. He's an asshole.
I'm not saying it's exclusive. I think there's both, but I think a lot of it is fucking brain.
He's a dumb asshole. All right. Dylan Dupree says, do you think we may benefit from the lack of a bye week? Scott does. Obviously, we would love to rest a week, but I think we're in a good rhythm, and maybe the game next week could help us stay consistent. Scott, that is the point you were trying to make earlier.
Correct. Obviously, it's better to have a bye, to rest, to only have to play 2 games to go to the Super Bowl. But we are kind of rolling, we're kind of flowing. It's it is what it is at this point.
With the way we beat Carolina, and they did pull out some starters at the end of the game, you get a little bit of rest. You didn't have to play a full 4 quarters.
Yeah,
maybe, but it's not the same.
I know,
but also, and it's not only just the week of rest. It's who you get to play.
The rest of the week.
Like we would have had the winner of like if Seattle wins, then we get a banged up Seattle team, and if it's the other game, you might get Philly. It's like instead of having to, like, we're probably going to have to play Minnesota, then Green Bay, then San Francisco.
Maybe.
It's in addition to playing an extra game, we're also playing tougher opponents. But maybe let me look. It's exercising a lot of fucking demons, and if they go through this gauntlet and make it to the Super Bowl and win a fucking Super Bowl,
I mean, I get it, but at the same time,
somehow Breeze will still be left off the next all-time list. But I mean, that's if they do this, and he gets another Super. I mean, it's I don't know. At the end of the day, a Super Bowl, no matter who you beat. But
like this, the mailman says, we're going to beat Minnesota like LSU beat Oklahoma.
I do think we're gonna skull drag him. I really do.
Well, that'd be nice.
I hope
We'll-
so.
We'll
I
get
think,
to that later.
yeah. But get ready for something fishy is going to happen in that Green Bay game. Like,
well,
officiating wise, something fishy is going to happen in that game.
officiating.
Yes.
All right, Cajun
Yes.
Alaskan says, let's take stock of the NFC South 2019. Number 1, Saints finished the regular season 13-3. Number 2, Falcons save Quinn's job while murdering their draft pick.
Woohoo! Save Quinn and Dimitrov. That's awesome.
Right. Number 3, Jameis threw 30 interceptions.
And 30 touchdowns. He threw for 5,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 30 picks. That's incredible.
He's a gunslinger, man. All right, and number
He
4.
said today, if I could just eliminate the picks, I'm going to be awesome.
And not just picks, like pick sixes.
Did
he threw
Booger
like
McFarland say that, or Jameis Winston?
And then draw a dick.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And then
And
we get
then-
some crab legs.
Number 4, admittedly, the Panthers lost their starting quarterback and finished 5-11, while the Saints went 5-0 with their backup quarterback. So it's just a nice little recap of the NFC South in 2019. I mean,
And
all of our other,
that makes back-to-back 7-9 seasons for the old Falcons over there.
all we
As a
need is one more, and they
division-
can never use the 379 seasons on us.
Yeah. As a division, I believe the NFC South went 500. Like
Yeah.
their record, combined records.
Put it-
Oh, wow. All right, Spencer Gallen says, if our O-line was still hurt, I'd be a lot more worried, but since they played so well, I'm okay with playing next week. That's a good point. And like Jason was saying, the fact that we got Pete back and Warford came in, we're the offense is not the problem. And really, I feel like, and tell me if you agree with Janoris Jenkins, honestly,
Jack
I don't feel
Jack
bad. I don't feel bad about our defense having to step up and do what they need to do. No problem on the defensive line. A little bit of injury. Linebacking core is freaking phenomenal.
Well, that's the big thing because those two guys came back from injury. They weren't injured. They came
Yeah.
back. I will say
Yeah,
I would like to get Von Bell back.
that would be nice.
But
You know, I mean-
CJGJ is doing a great job no matter where you put him. This kid.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's
Eh?
good.
Eh?
It's crazy that we got him in the 4th round.
Was it? Yeah, I was thinking 3rd or 4th. Yeah.
I mean, when you consider the limited draft picks we had this year, for us to still get McCoy and still get CJG and to find Harris, was undrafted. To find those 3 guys with the limited resources we had this year is pretty damn incredible. Again, credit to Jeff Ireland, man.
See, it just shows that we can pull off the big trade to get that first pick. We don't need a lot of players.
I mean, why not? So, all right, that's all I got for tweets. Let's get into pick'ems.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So I've had a rough last couple of weeks.
You had a rough 17 weeks.
Well, no, it's
You're right, 16. We didn't do week 1.
Yeah. Well, I think I might have done it in my head. But no, I went 1 and
That's what she
3
said.
in week 16, and this past week I went 1 and 4. That was just fucking terrible.
I went 3 and 2, be the Dubs. I don't remember if I texted you my picks or not.
You probably didn't, but I don't care. You're tracking. All I know is that I'm out. I lost.
Yeah.
I don't think there's.
And
any
I
way
picked
can
fair
come
and
back
square.
against you.
Jake and Drew were there with me.
I believe you.
I think I went 3 and 2 this week, or 4 and 1. I don't know which.
You went 3 and 2 as well. So did they.
3 and 2.
Jake and Drew, yeah. So yeah, Jason. 8 to 9, 44, 42, 43.
I saw you
It's
tweet the
gonna take a
percentage,
lot.
and I'm like, ooh, I'm down there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't catch you.
Yeah, larger league. Sans Hobbs is kind of Greenbaum. I think you're taking a little too much advantage of the week you missed because, I mean, Sans Hobbs, Mordecai, they're kind of surrounding you, but the fact that you didn't have any of those games on a week that they probably lost 4 or 5 games each.
They don't do it by percentage. I mean, you made the rules, not me.
Well, if I don't do it by percentage, then I mean,
Everybody has
Sans
to
Hobbs
make it.
still winning. I mean, he's winning whether it's percentage or number of wins.
It's fine. Well, then don't.
But if I
complain.
don't
You
do
made the
that,
rules, not
then
me.
40.
Jeff, I feel like you're trying to talk yourself into something that you don't need to. It should stay
You're
a
right,
percentage.
you're
Whatever
right.
it is, it should
All
stay a
right, so
percentage.
Sans Hobbs, Greenbaum, Mordecai, Desi, Tom Ensign, Drew, Jake, me. Who Dat Fits, Triple D Kennels, Wheels, Big Easy Mafia, The Mailman, Davis Douglas, Trevor Scott Bruno, Christian Mino, Jason, Who Dat Be, Neil and Big Easy Gajon fighting for the last spot. Big Easy Gajon took a big advantage in becoming the horse's ass strictly by going 0-5 for like the third week this year.
Ooh.
Man,
I mean,
Gajon, what the hell? Is Hokey Gajon
like
making your
skill.
picks for you? Are you related to Hokey Gajon?
I mean, I will say, in fairness, like week 17 is always weird because you don't know who's going to play, who's not going to play.
Yeah.
Week 17 is always a wacky week.
Well, that's what went into me picking Pittsburgh instead of Baltimore, but yet Baltimore still won.
Yeah.
And the same
That's
thing
why
with what was it?
Seattle
Tennessee
should
and
have
Houston.
fucking won.
Tennessee and Houston. That's why I picked Tennessee.
Yeah.
Seattle should have fucking won. That's
Seattle
so
should have
aggravating.
won.
Yeah, I counted on Seattle doing that stupid shit. And that's how I got that
I didn't even watch that game. I was watching the Pelicans win their fourth straight. I couldn't watch.
Yeah.
I'd already seen the heartbreak with Detroit. I knew whatever, something was gonna happen to fuck us because
Right.
that's the weird fucking thing. Like Kansas City got had the benefit of having Miami beat New England in New England, so that way now Kansas City got their bye.
Yep.
All we needed was Minnesota beat Green Bay. No. Bears beat Green Bay. No. Detroit beat Green Bay. Had a 14-point lead at half. No. Seattle beat San Francisco. They were there. They were right on the one
They
fucking
were
yard
1
line.
inch away. Oh, and then they get a stupid
even
delay
before
in game.
that,
Like
right.
the mailman said. They get a who does that?
Right. Just hike the ball and fall forward. You're gonna
Who
score a
does
touchdown.
that?
I was waiting for Russell Wilson to do the Drew Brees, dive over.
Yeah, or give it to Skittles over there because they never do.
But again, it's like no matter the Saints. Whenever the Saints need something to happen, it never fucking happens ever.
And then don't even get me started on the no PI call. And everybody's like, "Oh, but the delay again." Yeah, but you know what? The no PI would have changed everything, and the delay game wouldn't have been an issue. That screw up affected the entire NFC playoff system.
Yeah, the whole thing.
The whole thing is thrown out of whack because of the officiating.
The rule was put in specifically not to fuck up games that meant
things.
It's classic.
It's gonna have to be something like basically what happened last year with Tommy Lee Lewis and you know what?
But the worst is that the league they're supposed to review it with 2 minutes left in the game. They're supposed to interrupt the game and do it. Even stupid Chris Collinsworth of all people is like, I'm surprised they're not reviewing it. Ugh.
That douche said, Al, whatever the fuck his name is, said in his statement that they did review it, but they didn't stop the game to say they were reviewing it. That's what he said.
Oh, I know that's what he said. I'm going to read my talking points like the robot that I am.
And yet here we are, still watching every week. New Orleans was the highest rated market again.
We suck.
We know that the NFL will continue to fuck us, and we just come right back. That's like fucking New Orleans, man. Like our infrastructure is shit. Our leadership is shit. Well, what are you gonna do?
Move to
we love New Orleans. Go New Orleans, or that, right.
And it's not just the whole state's kind of fucked, but anyway.
Yeah. But we throw a better party than anybody.
Yeah, Spencer says Al Riveron came out and said that the reviewers, the no call PI, and said it wasn't worth overturning. Seriously, the worst NFL employee ever. Christian Mino, it's only going to happen if anything happens to Brady or a California-based team. And I'll add to that, Christian.
Or Aaron
Rodgers. Right. So let me ask y'all this question, and I don't know if we've ever really talked about it or y'all ever really talked about it. Let's say the rule was in place last year to challenge it or to have the booth review it. Do you think the Tommy Lee Lewis play would have gotten reviewed?
Yeah, because Peyton would have definitely thrown the flag. I mean, and when they see it in slow
part of it was that Pete Carroll didn't have any timeouts.
Wasn't that within 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, it was within 2 minutes. Is that automatic? Can he not throw the flag for that?
It was like 3 minutes.
It has to go to booth. Wow. Within 2 minutes, after the 2 minute warning, it has to go to the booth, right?
I mean, I would like
from the booth,
but I don't remember how much time was on the clock for that.
I think it was right on. I would like to think that it was so egregious that it would have been overturned, but Considering what
If
the
you look at last
NFL,
night,
I want to say
look
the
at
Saints
last
game.
night,
The
that was
Saints game last
egregious
year,
as
it happened. There was 2 minutes and change. So I think whatever.
I'm
They
just
wouldn't
asking
have. Okay, pick
if you
'em.
thought that would have been overturned. I don't know.
I'd like to think so,
Yes,
but
I
the
do
NFL
because the
continues
ball
to
was
look.
15 yards away.
You look at last night though, that looked obvious. There's been so many instances
But
this
the
year where
Tommy
it
Lee
was
Lewis thing
pretty
was a lot
fucking
more obvious than that. But then the Saints benefited from it against Carolina. Didn't we get the call overturned?
Which was shocking.
And it was closer. And actually, that was closer than what the Seattle thing was.
They gave us that so they don't have to give us one in the playoffs.
Or because it was Peyton's birthday.
They wouldn't give him that. All right.
Happy birthday, Coach.
Happy birthday. Jason, what's our games?
Did
you have enough time to decide what games you're going to pick for pick'ems this week?
It was kind of dicey. You know. Oh, by the way, I got some nice Billy's Boudin right here.
Nice.
But
Boudin.
It's interesting this year in that they decided to have both AFC games on Saturday and both NFC games on Sunday. Usually they rotate it so that way whoever they try to help it to where like whoever played on Saturday more than likely will go to the Saturday game next week. But they said fuck it, we'll put the Saints on Sunday and fuck them because that's what we're gonna do. But our first game. So this is pretty incredible. The Houston Texans have made the playoffs 6 times in their career. All 6 years. And they never had a bye. They've always played in the wild card round. All 6 times they have been in the first game on Saturday of wild card weekend.
Huh.
That's how much everybody thinks of Houston. They're always in the worst game of the weekend.
So why are you saving that for the shitty game of the week, or
the shitty wild card game of the week?
Yeah.
No, I mean
just do it. Just
yeah. All right. So they're at home. They win the AFC South. They didn't have anything to play for this past week against Tennessee and rested a lot of their starters.
And yet, oh wait, Tennessee won. Never mind.
Thanks, Jeff.
Classic Jeff.
Right. So they host. So they're the 4th seed. So they host another game in the state of Texas. They are relatively healthy. I believe Will Fuller is back. There's talk about J.J. Watt maybe not being back this week, but being back next week from his injury. Let's see if they get that far. They host the 5 seed Buffalo Bills, who also had nothing to play for this week. Didn't play a lot of their starters. Really good defense, questionable offense, but Josh Allen can run. This game's in Houston. Texans favored by 2.5.
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this much. I'll go first on this, and I'm taking Buffalo because I was gonna take Buffalo even if Houston was getting points. So I'm just getting a freebie.
Damn it, Carl! I'm taking Buffalo also. I mean, it's not like I can beat you anyway. So
yeah, just take coming on for the ride.
Yep. Buffalo's defense is legit.
Houston.
Yeah, I think they can stop Houston.
I'm taking Houston.
All right.
Wow.
Taking Houston.
We should probably listen to him. He's in 2nd place.
Probably.
Deshaun Watson. X Factor.
Put your money on that.
Buffalo, better team.
All right. Our next game is the night game. Saturday night in Foxborough. Due to New England's loss to Miami, this is the first time they haven't had a bye since 2009. That is crazy, and just goes to again show how shitty the AFC East has been.
And they've never missed the playoffs, right?
2008 they missed the play. They won 11 games and somehow missed the playoffs.
Since 2009, they've had a bye week every year since.
Every year since
10
2009,
years.
Yeah.
Or 8 year, whatever.
It's absolutely insane. So they're at home Saturday night. Host the Tennessee Titans. 6 seed Tennessee Titans really changed the course of their season when they benched Mariota and came up with Tannehill. Derrick Henry won the rushing title this year. So they got a good running game. Tannehill's been playing well. Rookie A.J. Brown has come on. I think he caught another 2 touchdowns this week. He's just a physical freak. So Tennessee's been playing pretty well, but again, it's a playoff game at home in New England at night. Usually it's a pretty daunting place. The Pats are favored by 4.5. I'll go first. Give me the Titans.
Wow. Are you picking the Titans to win?
The Titans. Titans.
Are you picking them to win, or are you picking them to?
I am picking them to win outright because I think Tom Brady is toast. He is done. No matter what magic Belichick's going to try to come up with, New England doesn't have any weapons at all to score. I don't think they can score, and I think Tennessee can. That's what I'm going with. Titans win outright. Give me the money line.
I'm going with the model franchise, the Pats. Until somebody beats Brady in the playoffs. It's like playoff Rondo. It's playoff.
They're
Brady.
about to.
Yeah, it's kind of where I am, Scott. It's the playoffs. It's a whole nother level, and
they've been
coaching.
There. Titans haven't. You know.
Yeah. And New England's defense.
This Saturday night will mark the end of the Patriots dynasty.
I mean, if I'm wrong,
I hope it does, but
right. But I'm not gonna stake my Pick'em's reputation on it.
Oh, you got a sterling reputation there.
Hey, I beat you last year too, boy.
Oh yeah, you beat me. Woohoo! That says a lot. All right. Now we will move on to Sunday. This is going to be the late game on Sunday. The Seattle Seahawks coming off just a brutal blunder. Fucking Seattle, man.
Fuck, man.
Fucking Seattle.
Fucking Pete Carroll, man. Anytime he gets to the 1 yard line, you know you're fucked.
The fuck, man. The absolute fuck. They travel to Philly to play a banged up Eagles team that won the division. They've got Carson Wentz and everybody else is hurt. Zach Ertz is hurt. All their receivers are hurt. Miles Sanders got injured again this week, so they've been relying on ex-Saint Boston Scott. Remember him? Remember?
What do you get, like 3 touchdowns or something?
He's been playing pretty well for Philly. And this line shows Philly's a home dog. Philly is getting 2 points at home.
I wish I knew what the weather was going to be like in that game, but I am going to pick Seattle. And I have no good reason.
Because Philly stinks?
Yeah. It's just, I think Philly fell into the playoffs. At least Seattle Seattle was fighting for like a 13-3 record or something, right? I mean, and Philly just kind of like tripped over something and found themselves where they are.
Seattle is incredibly banged up.
So is Philly. You just listed out.
You're right. Philly is kind of, I'm going to go Seattle as well.
I'm going Seattle as well. Not only am I taking Seattle this week, I say they go to San Francisco and beat them next week.
It's kind of our best hope. Like, if anybody can beat San Francisco, aside from the Saints, if anybody can beat San Francisco, it's going to be Seattle.
It's not our best hope. It's our only hope.
You are our only hope.
That's not how she said it. Come on. Yeah. All right, and now our game of the week. The Vikings. Fucking Vikings. Rested all their starters this past week.
All for naught.
I mean, Dalvin Cook was banged up, so I still don't think Dalvin Cook's 100%. But again, at the end of the day, we've gone 42 straight games without allowing a 100-yard rusher. That's going to continue. The last game that mattered for Minnesota was when they played Green Bay on Monday night 2 weeks ago and looked like absolute dog shit. Kirk Cousins does not beat good teams, especially on the road. He just doesn't. So I like I said earlier, and maybe we'll kind of, you make your pick'ems, and then I'm sure we're all picking the Saints, right? Maine.
What's the spread? Yeah.
The spread's 8. Saints are favored by 8.
Ooh, that's a high number.
Damn, boy.
It is. I'm not scared though.
Ooh, that's a high number.
Did you just run into Blaine?
Fuck it. Saints.
Yeah, I think they cover.
Yeah, at least by they'll win by at least 10.
Yeah, Jason.
So there you go. There's your pick'ems. To recap: Buffalo at Houston. Houston favored by 2.5. Tennessee at New England. Pats favored by 4.5. Seattle at Philly. Philly a home dog, getting 2 points. And then the Vikings at the Saints. Saints favored by 8.
Did Jason give us pick for the Saints? Did I miss it?
I mean,
I
come
didn't
on.
hear it, but I'm assuming he meant he would pick the Saints. All right. Yeah, get your tweets in before the first game kicks off on Saturday, folks. That's going to bring us into our next segment, Saints Preview, where, yes, the Saints are hosting the Minnesota Vikings for the wild card. We pretty much spent a lot of time already alluding to things. Maybe we don't have to spend a whole bunch of time on this, save a little bit of time to talk about LSU. But
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. What do you
I'm
think? What do you think about? I mean, is there anything unsaid about this playoff game that you feel needs to be said?
I think we're gonna beat the shit out of them. I really do. I just don't think the Vikings are that good. Their offensive line is bad. That's what killed them against Green Bay. Green Bay they didn't stand a chance. And with the Saints pass rush getting the 50 sacks for the season, like we talked about earlier, I just think we're going to wreak havoc with Cousins. Cook is not going to be effective. Our offense is humming, and I just think we're gonna destroy them. I don't think it's going to be close. I really don't.
What do y'all been saying all season? Cousins doesn't beat 500, over 500 teams. So
I tried to,
y'all have been saying it all year.
I tried to pick him 1 week this year, and just to say he lost. So
The only thing, Thielen, I think should be back this week.
well, he played he was
played
playing
some.
last week, but he didn't
Okay.
do anything. He's not
Yeah.
effective.
And I think that, obviously he's a good wide receiver, but I really think that the way our defensive line's been playing, that they'll get to Cousins, he won't have much of a chance to throw to him. And we've been shutting down the way we've been playing against the run. Kind of like Jason said, kind of shutting down Dalvin Cook, at least running the ball. I don't know how effective he is coming out the backfield catching passes or not.
I'm not sure. I mean, I know the Vikings, when their offense was working this year, they ran a lot of play action. That's kind of their go-to play. But I
see,
think
to do that, you have to establish a run, and if they can't establish a run, then the play action's gone.
And that's the thing. Stop him early, but then also having those three linebackers healthy and playing, I think, is going to make all the difference because they're going to be smart enough to overcome that. So I don't know.
Also, we're a little bit about Rudolph because tight ends have kind of been something that is.
Yeah, but now that we got now that we got CJG out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Or Demario Davis. I mean, if worse comes to worse, stick Demario Davis on him.
Yeah. Christian Mina said he'd love to see Peyton Manning, Sean Payton mocking the skull chant again.
That would be great. And
yeah, let's wait. Let's wait till there's 4 zeros on the clock.
This time.
Does Marcus Williams play this week?
I
think if he's
or Bell or Von Bell.
Von Bell.
What was
just because of the
right. I don't know. Marcus Williams has been playing like ass the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I don't want to say we don't want guys healthy, but I feel like
guys never a game for him to play well.
It's just I feel like guys have stepped. I mean, I don't know. I definitely be as healthy as you can, and I hate.
Do you trust Marcus Williams?
I kind of don't.
Especially against Minnesota.
I mean, yeah, I did for like after that last year, he was great, fine, and even part of this year he was fine. And yeah, like Jason said, it's just the last several games that he's played. It's kind of this half of the season. He's just kind of fallen back into his old that kind of a.
And that's the problem with defensive backs. It's all about confidence because look, I mean, they're going to get beat. It's just that's the nature of the game. You got to have confidence and attitude to say fuck it and come back the next play. And maybe he's lost some of that. I don't know. Like CJG's got some fucking attitude on him. I tell you that.
Like him, yeah.
I just I hate.
And you play your hot hand. I mean, you know what I mean. Let the guy play, and like Janoris Jenkins, play him.
P-Rob playing great.
Yeah, hey, out of the doghouse, man.
P-Rob has been playing great.
He got a little banged up last game, didn't he?
There was a play, but I think he came right back in too.
I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. So score predictions.
I'm gonna go with 38-17. I'm going a big. I hate to sound overconfident, but I just think we're too good. We're playing too well. Our season's not gonna end losing to fucking Kirk Cousins. That's just kind of the way I feel about it.
I'll say 45-17.
I'm going 35-14.
So I'm actually not gonna be here for the game. I'm gonna miss the game.
Dun dun dun.
Playoff game. We had scheduled our it's our 10-year anniversary, and we got a long trip to Florida, and when I scheduled it, it was the first week of January. I'm like, oh, that'll be week 17, right? And then
Oh, I thought you scheduled it because you knew we would have the bye
We're
week.
gonna get the bye.
Well, we should 13 wins. We should have a fucking bye.
You know, your wedding was planned for the bye weekend playoffs, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, no. I moved. It was scheduled wild card weekend. I moved it to Friday just in case we had a game, but we got the bye and it didn't matter. But this, I was like,
Jason got married in 2009, folks. And he got married, and then the Saints won the Super Bowl.
Right. And we in Miami. So on the 10th anniversary, and we're gonna miss this. And then the Super Bowl was back in Miami this year. So
you need to renew your vows really quick.
somehow it's gonna work out. I don't know, but it sucks. I mean, again, another reason for me to really want the fucking bye. And again, couldn't. So many things. Just one small thing had to happen. Nope. No fucking bye for you.
No, multiple times one small thing didn't happen. Chris Hansberry predicted 28-10. The mailman says 42-17, by the way.
So I'll be watching it at a sports bar in Florida. So
all right, I'll be watching it at my sister's house. The whole family doing our Christmas a little late.
Just so that people know, Jeff did have an option to take my tickets and go to the game, but
yes, I chose family instead.
Yeah, and Jason didn't offer them to me, so.
Yeah.
It was a package deal. If Jeff didn't take them, you couldn't go. It had to be the two of y'all.
Sorry, Scott.
That's it.
Do a blessed Jeff's package.
You can blame Jeff.
He said package deal. I'm just going with what he said.
All right. Real quick, then we'll get into final thoughts right after this, but we have to talk about LSU for a little bit with our Tiger Week segment.
Where's your hat?
Oh, I didn't bring it. Anyway.
Oh.
But Tiger Week, boy. What's up? Oklahoma.
Who?
That's how you spell it, right?
Who?
That game was just hilarious. Is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, it was.
It was fun.
It was a holy shit. Like what?
But you didn't not see that. It's kind of like what you're predicting about the Saints doing in Minnesota. You didn't I have to say, I did come into this game saying everybody keeps talking about and all I kept thinking is Oklahoma. It's like an 8th grade JV football team coming in to play against an NFL team.
No, hold on. Oh, look, Oklahoma was a good team.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were. Oklahoma was a very good team. Stop it. Oklahoma was a very good team. They beat Texas Baylor. Regardless, they were a good team.
Yeah, okay.
But hold on, let me finish. They were a good team, but LSU was just that much better. The one thing that worried me.
That's the point I just made.
Oh, relax, guy. Maybe I need to do a checkpoint. I'm probably like a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go 3 because we're in 3 seed.
Oh, 3.
I think he's higher than a 3 if I had to.
No, I'm just saying, I was literally making that point that, okay, maybe I went the other direction. I called them shit. But, okay, no matter how good they were, LSU was 7 levels better.
Right. LSU was a cut above. I couldn't believe the one thing that worried me was maybe Hurts running the ball and keeping it kind of close, but
he didn't even run that much. I mean, I think I had texted y'all they just need to keep letting Hurts run it because that's the only thing that's working. I mean, nothing else working. His passes were off. I mean, he was just overthrowing people. I don't know if it was just caught up in the moment, whatever. But I mean, he's played in big games before, so you would think that he'd kind of be used to that.
Yeah, it's as good as obviously it's all about LSU's offense. 7 touchdowns in the first half. That's great, but
I mean that's just...
the defense holding him to 3 and out on the first 2 drives. It just set the tone, and that was that's it. And that's been
that was the one question mark everybody had going into the game was what was the defense going to do?
Right.
against a good offense. Like Oklahoma was averaged like maybe a yard less than them during the season. So
now I'll say Clemson is.
And I mean,
I almost would. I'm sorry. A lot of people, I'm sure, like Ohio State was the better team, maybe even after the game. But I'm sorry, Clemson is the team who's beaten Alabama. Clemson is the team who, to me, scared me more out of the two.
Yeah.
And I respect that team. Now that's a game where I'm not going to walk in like LSU did. Even LSU was like so. I'm kind of surprised they were like that. We kind of got a little cocky. We were like, I mean, nothing about Oklahoma scared us,
right. I think
intimidated
they
us.
kind of saw the, even they were saying that before the game, like, their offensive line isn't that good, or defense. I think they looked at the tape and were like, okay, we got this. I think they were confident enough to know that. And after the game, they're like, I don't even think that was like one of the top 5 defenses we played.
It's kind of like win with grace. At that point, I'm a little kind of turned off by that.
Stop it.
I get it, but I mean, I get it.
Clemson plays the all shut. Dabo's like the all shuts guy.
Right, we're disrespected. All they've done is win like 26 straight games.
30 apparently.
I mean, granted, they play in a shit conference.
The mailman did say, yes, it would be nice to give Clemson their first loss in their past 30 games. Their quarterback never lost in college before, and yet he will lose this game. Clemson is beatable. They just, to your point, they haven't played anybody good enough to beat them, including Alabama.
Well,
yeah,
hold on.
And their defensive coordinator is like kind of this mastermind kind of guy who comes up with game plans to really take away what the offense of the other team does well, but everything LSU does as well. I mean, you can stop Chase, but you can't stop Chase. You can't stop Marshall. You can't, you can stop one, but you're not going to stop Chase. You're not going to stop Marshall. You're not going to stop Moss. You're not going to stop Hilaire. Hilaire didn't even freaking basically play against Oklahoma.
That's the thing. They did all that with pretty much without Hilaire.
I mean, that's their.
It's hilarious.
Curry. Like I think I texted y'all during the game. He reminded me a lot of Chris Ivory, not just because of the hair, but
mostly because of the hair.
You weren't the first. You weren't the last person to say something about that.
Just because of the way he ran. I mean, he was like freaking.
Yeah. My brother-in-law texted me the same thing.
He was running with purpose. And Chase is supposed to be their best wide receiver, but then you go into the game and Jefferson freaking goes off. It's like you can stop one, or you can even maybe stop two, but you're not going to stop all of them.
Well, and like on some of those throws, it's like some of those throws he wasn't even open, and it didn't matter. He wasn't open.
Said it after the game.
It didn't matter.
As long as they give Burrow time, you're not stopping this offense.
And he had some passes where he dropped back and he's just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there.
That was the biggest thing. Like so many times,
Jason,
they only rushed
the mailman wants to know who's Hilaire. I didn't even catch you saying it.
I didn't either.
Kenny Hilaire.
He's like Jason's like what's his name? Rondé Barber, messing up everybody's name.
Michael Thompson.
Michael Thompson.
Receiver Michael Thompson.
He was horrible.
Both of them. That's like we got the shit. Bad. We got the
Marcus
worst
Lattimore.
announcers.
Marcus Lattimore.
We always get him. We always get him. And Buck and Aikman get to do another Cowboys game. That doesn't matter.
That means nothing.
But Kenny Albert, or was it Kenny Albert? His name, whatever. He sounds like he puts like a sack of marbles in his mouth when he talks.
And yet he still has a job calling games for a while.
It was really cool for the LSU game for them to have the LSU broadcast on the SEC Network. I didn't like the split screen. That kind of bothered me a good bit. But I did like that.
But it was awesome listening to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did. So I started the game with that, and I was annoyed at the small screen. But then when Oklahoma scored to tie it at 7-7, I'm like, all right, let me switch over to the regular broadcast. And LSU got out to this huge lead, so my superstitious self was like, yeah, I'm going to leave it on this for a while. It was only until the very end when the game was in hand where I'd put it back to hear the radio broadcast. But I hate it. Like, there was no reason for the side thing with all the little stats.
Yeah,
like, just give me the big screen with my broadcast. That's what I want.
If LSU goes on and wins the national championship, just to put it in context, like, I mean, they could seriously go down as one of the greatest college football teams ever. I mean, the stuff they're doing this year, the records they've broken, the records they're probably still going to break.
And even the teams they played, they will have beaten seven top 10 teams at the time playing them. And it, like that matters. Maybe Texas isn't top 10 right now, but at the time they were. And if Texas wins that game, then it helps their season and they stay up there. Whereas the loss kind of helps. You have to factor that in, but it's absurd.
I mean, even if not the best team, is it? Would you go so far as to say even before the game, this is the best college offense ever?
Yeah.
It's hard to argue when you consider what teams they have beaten, what defenses they've beaten. Yeah.
Although I think if the NFL 100 team had to vote, they would probably not make it in the top 10 offenses.
Probably not. And as much as you guys know, I love Taysom Hill. I love Joe Burrow that much more.
You love Joe Burrow more than Taysom Hill?
More than Taysom Hill.
Wow! Holy shit! Stop the presses.
Ooh-wee. Says the man who created the Taysom Hill fan club.
I want the Saints to do whatever they need to do to get this guy. His confidence level, his swagger, his focus. They asked him after the game, what do you, how do you feel about all the records you guys have broken? You win in the Heisman, blah, blah, blah. The only record that matters is January 13th. That's what his response was. So he is so focused on just winning this game.
You texted us, and I'm going to ask you, what would, if you were Loomis, Gale, Sean Payton combined, what are you willing to do in order to get him?
Like I said, whatever it takes. I mean, obviously you're going to have to trade draft picks.
Probably have
picks. A lot, yeah.
To move from 32 to 1 is going to take a lot.
But I mean, you probably have to throw a player or two in there. I mean,
you would have to, and a good player.
As good as Kamara is, this league can, in the Saints, just in general, can find running backs. I mean, look at Pierre Thomas. I mean, undrafted. They can find them, and the lifespan of a running back is so short in the NFL. It's 5 years at the most usually.
So you'd give him Kamara.
You're talking about being set
even Kamara was
for the next 15 to 20 years.
Even Kamara was a third round pick.
Yeah. So I mean, you can find them. They are out there. The running backs are there. I mean, we picked up Latavius Murray. I don't think he's done as well as Mark Ingram, but
how many years of first round picks? Stansbury says next 2 or 3 years of first round picks.
It would take at least that, but that's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really hindering your.
But isn't it worth it?
Ability.
But look at our first.
Isn't it worth it if Joe Burrow ends up? You take that gamble, and let's say it works out, and you have every reason to believe that he would work out, especially with Sean Payton and Pete Carmichael. Let's say, I mean, wouldn't it be worth that much for a 20-year quarterback?
Let's say 15, but still.
15-year quarterback?
15 years.
Yes. But I
yes.
15 years of the following Drew Brees, too.
But the problem is...
you're going to be under Drew Brees for the next 2 years learning.
But I mean, James, y'all crazy. You can't do that. You can, though. Mike Ditka did it.
No.
Watch. Yep.
Yeah, how'd that work out for us?
Well, it's different. It's Ricky Williams who's a pothead.
Oh, yeah.
Ricky Williams was a fucking pothead.
The problem is you're going to go 4 or 5 years without being able to compete because of your lack of draft. The lack of draft picks is going to hurt you that much.
If you're giving up a first round,
not a team that seems to be finding diamonds in the rough like they do.
We're finding people left and right.
That's assuming we're going to be
able to keep. We talked about it earlier.
That's assuming
you got to believe, Jason.
Ireland.
You got to believe. What's wrong? Where's your belief? You have to believe. You got to believe.
Oh, you Parappa the fans know.
James Cupid. We won 1 Super Bowl with Drew. Yeah, because we had shitty defenses surrounding him. Other than that, I mean,
and when we give away all our draft picks, I could be able to.
You can get free agents.
Like Jason said, 5 years of sufferitude. 5 years. I'll take 3, 7, and 9 years to recover for 15 years of this again.
That's probably what it would take.
Okay. Would you trade 3? Would you? Okay, go even that far. Would you trade 3 losing seasons for Joe Burrow?
Man,
I would take those 3 losing seasons if it means 12 seasons of playoffs. Possible more Super Bowls. He might be better than. All right, I'm going to end the show. I almost said he's going to be better than Drew Brees. With Sean Payton, he might.
When you put it that way.
I mean, he's a once in a generation.
I mean, we gave up. We had 3 7-9 seasons with Drew Brees. It didn't hurt. It didn't kill us.
Nope, sure didn't.
Almost
close.
did.
Yeah, almost did. But hey,
Had
All
to
right.
take out my belt on you, motherfuckers.
He's got the mobility. He's got the arm strength. Like I think I had said one other time, like, you know, you watch Drew and like there's times where you're like, oh man, you used to watch him Burrow. It's like, oh, he could have ran for that, but you got to remember it's Drew Brees, not Burrow.
I mean, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this, and this is not to disrespect Teddy, but like we watched Teddy play, and I watched like Jimmy Garoppolo play, and I watched Russell Wilson play last night, and the two of those guys are better than Teddy, and they have this it factor that Joe Burrow has, and it's kind of like after Drew Brees, we don't have the it kind of guy. We got a guy who can win games, but it's work. Where Jimmy G,
you put a lot of faith in old Jimmy G right here.
I'm sorry, he impresses me. I'm going to give him respect for what he deserves.
They're the one seed.
They're legit. I mean, he's legit. He is good. He's got it. Russell Wilson is good. He's got it. Maybe not as much it as the others, but like there's certain quarterbacks who just have it. And the other quarterbacks who get there have to work to get there. And I think Teddy's a guy who has to work to get there. He doesn't have it. Joe Burrow has it. And those kind of players come around you like maybe 1 or 2 every couple of years. Even Patrick Mahomes, I think Pat Mahomes is not as good as Jimmy G.
Wait.
I would take Jimmy Garoppolo over Pat.
Oh my God! Everybody, please remember this statement right here. What Jeff just said. This might be the most classic Jeff thing he's ever said.
I'm sorry, I said it. I would take Jimmy G over Pat Mahomes.
Okay, let's bet a stake in 5 years.
Okay.
Whatever stat you want to do.
All right, we'll think about it for next week. All right, yeah, he did absolutely.
Don't bet stakes because I don't want y'all. I don't want the.
No. Here's the thing. I trust Jeff to pay up. Now it might be a $5 piece of shit steak at the store, but at least he's
grill
gonna
it here.
Right. At least he's gonna pay up.
You got to come up here to get it.
That's fine.
The mailman. What?
That's fine. Yeah.
All right. I think there's John. We can get Travis Lawrence next year.
All right. Just to tie a bow on the LSU thing.
Who's Travis Lawrence?
I don't know. To tie a bow on this, I think I texted y'all this. When Billy Cannon, I don't know if I did or not, when Billy Cannon won his Heisman in '58, LSU won the national championship in New Orleans against Clemson.
There you go.
They won 7-0, I think.
And look, we'll definitely have.
This has all happened before. It will all happen again.
We'll definitely have a little more time to talk about it. Next week.
Galactica. Play till the 13th.
Yeah.
Like David Gunn says, we are not getting Burrow, fellas. Even a smart authority on the subject, no more omnipresent than Christian Garrett said.
Oh, God.
I don't think we are getting Burrow the other night. And he's really smart and stuff.
I mean, despite that's the problem. He's probably right. I mean, Cincinnati's not trading.
Jeff, you're on crack, apparently.
I love it. Everybody hates me now. Jeff, Chris Hansberry, I like you, Jeff, but what the fuck?
Right? I'm telling. That was one of the dumbest things Jeff ever said. And Jeff said a lot of dumb shit.
I might have
that's one of the dumbest.
I went a little too far. I got a little out of control. I got caught up.
Jeff's at a 7.
Right?
Jeff's at a 7.
Are you a Mitch Trubisky fan as well?
Where you're saying you're going, and then like it's coming out of your mouth. And you're like, no, but I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm just going on. I'm going with it. Whatever.
You were just overcome by his handsomeness because he is
handsome. Jimmy G. He earned my respect. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
All right. He's better than Pat Mahomes. All right, that's all the show we have for you right now. We're going to thank our loyal listeners for downloading each week and telling all their friends about the Dope Patrol podcast. You can follow us on Twitter for daily conversation, like us on Facebook to watch live broadcasts, subscribe on YouTube to watch or listen as an alternative to your podcast app. And, of course, there's the old-fashioned way of listening to our show, Dope Patrol Podcast.
.com.
Say bye-bye, donkeys.
Bye-bye, Baby Yoda donkeys.
Good night, Who Dat Nation.
I didn't watch the finale yet. You can't be giving me any kind of spoilers.
Okay, I mean that's what
I said was Baby Yoda. He always said was Baby Yoda.
So he dies? Is that what happened? He died?
That means season 1's over.
They killed Baby Yoda in the finale.
Season 1's over.
Spoiler alert, folks. So you're watching The Mandalorian? Speaking of that, we are going to do a Star Wars episode, I guess, at some point. It would have been nice to do it on the bye week, but Seattle screwed that up for us.
Thanks, Seattle and Detroit.
Thanks, yeah.
Thanks,
We have
Seattle.
to rely on Detroit. Something's wrong. Sure. Yeah.